Hello guys, so in today's video I'll be talking about the Linux file system, and I'll be going through different and most important directories that are located in the Linux kernel. So to begin with the first directory, I'll be showing you the root directory. So if you list the files, you can see that the root directory contains everything in the Linux kernel, beginning with the binary files, the boot, device and etc. So basically I'll be going through all these different directories, some of them, and yeah, so that's the first directory, the root directory. And in order for you to access the root directory, you have to have administrative permissions, so you must be root or you must be a sudo user. So the other directory is the slash usr. So this directory contains all executable files that are used by the user. And for the executable files, some of them you can see is the local, the share, the source, and also some different kind of libraries, games, and also binary files. So all these binary files or these files contained in the user can be executed. So let me clear and move to the next binary or the next directory. So the next directory is the cd/home directory. So in this directory it contains the personal files of the user, and you can see in this directory I only have two files, and most of them might be text files. So let me even change the directory to the first file, and you can see the file doesn't have anything. You can also add a file, and you can see this file is added into the directory named tech, and the file contains this normal text file, and you can just put any words in the text file, and you can write it out. And just put this file. So let me go back to running this my terminal as the root user. So that's the home directory, and the other directory that we'll be looking at is the /dev directory, and I'm going to navigate the /dev directory using that command. And the /dev directory, this directory only contains special files, which include files related to the devices that are mounted on the Linux file system, and most of these devices or files are virtual and they are not physical files. So they are not physically held in the device, so you can access them as any user, but you cannot mount them on a file system. So these are some of the /device files, and yeah, these are some of the files that are found in the /device directory. So let me clear and move to the next directory. So the next directory is the /etc file, and the /etc file contains configuration files that are used by the user. So these configuration files, they're not only used by the user, but they're used by the user who is in the sudoers list or the administrator only. So most of these files are used to configure the settings of the Linux file system or other programs. As you can see, they are different configuration files for the time zone profiles and other default configurations and other configuration for the Debian version proxy chains, and you can also check the configuration for the proxy chains. So I'll just copy paste this, and I'm going to I'm going to open up the configuration for the proxy chains, and also you can see we've entered the configuration files for the proxy chains, and this is whereby you configure your proxy chains and you allow, you restrict, and you choose the type of the proxies that you're going to use, either HTTP, SOCKS, tunneling, and all these proxify DNS. And you can also specify which addresses are being used by your proxy chains. And yeah, that's all with the proxy chains. So yeah, that's it with the etc file. That's where you configure the settings for your system as the administrator. So you have to be the administrator in order to open up and make configurations using the /etc directory. So the other directory is the binaries, or the /bin directory. So the /bin directory contains executable files, and not most like the most basic commands like cd, ls, and these commands are hosted in the /binary. You can see the commands for mounting, zip, and cat. So this most of these commands they are found in the /bin. And you can see there are different commands, even kill command for terminating processes that are currently running. Let me maximize this window. So these commands are mainly found in the /bin directory, and the other directory is the /lib directory. So the /lib directory, let me list all the files in this directory. The /lib directory this contains shared binary files, and the libraries are basically codes that can be used by executable binaries. This /lib directory contains binaries that are needed by they contain the libraries that are needed by other binaries in /bin and sbin directories, and you can see most of them are like grub and the Apache 2. The Apache 2 is a service, so the Apache 2 libraries are contained in the /lib, that maybe you can configure the Apache status. So let's see. Let's check the Apache 2 status. So you can see the Apache status is currently not running, and you can also use this command to enable the Apache 2 status and also terminate it. So those libraries are contained in the /lib directories. And moving on to the next directory is the /sbin directory, and this, as its name suggests, this contains binary files for the system only, and you can see this different from the other /bin directory because it contains binary files for the entire Linux system, and this one specifically holds the binary files for the system binaries. And let's navigate to the /bin directory and see what's the difference between the /bin and /sbin directory. So these files, there's only one difference between the files contained here. That means that if you want to execute these binaries or command, you have to run as an administrator or the root user. So you cannot run any of these you cannot run any of these commands without being the root user or having administrative permissions. Let me just get to that directory. So the other directory is the slash boot. The slash boot directory. The slash boot directory. This contains files of the kernel. That's mostly files of the boot image, and in addition to also the grub. You can see this the grub and the configurations for the Linux system. So basically this contains the boot files, the grub, system map, and all other files that are used in the booting of the machine. So yeah, let's get out of that directory, and that's it for the boot directory. So the other directory is the cd/root, and there's a difference between cd/root or this is the home of the root directory, and there's the difference between that and the root directory, which is denoted by a slash. So this is the home of the root directory, and when I list files, you can see in the home of the root directory there are no files. Okay, so this is also different. This is also different with the root directory. So if I cd/r and I list the directories, you can see in the root directory there are files, but in the home of the root directory there are no any files or any directories. So that's the difference between the root and the home of the root directory. And in the other directory that I'm going to be talking about is the cd/temp directory. And cd/temp directory, missed the spelling, cd/tmp. So in the cd/tmp directory, this directory, as the name implies, it contains mostly it holds temporary files or applications that are not being used currently. And yeah, the files, the users can also store their temporary files in this directory. And as you can see, most of the files in this one are maybe mostly the virtual machine files, and currently I'm running my Kali Linux on the virtual machine. So that's the work of the /temp directory. It contains the temporary files that maybe are removed after some times by using the normal commands. So let me get out of that root directory and clear. So the next directory I'm going to be looking at is the cd/var directory. And the cd/var directory is where the programs store runtime information like the system logins. And let me just open up this var directory. And as you can see, there's the backup, the cache, the libraries, the local, log mail, and other commands, even the ww, and this is the whereby you find most of the HTML files that maybe are used by the Apache server and other files. So the var directory, yeah, is used for storing the caches and other files that the system programs creates and also manages. Yeah, so that's it with the /var directory. Moving on, let me just clear and go to the next directory. So the next directory is the /mon directory. And the /mon directory, this directory is similar to the /media directory, but instead of automatically removing media, mon directory is basically used by the root user. And as you can see, there's nothing that is mounted in this slash mount directory. So if I want to mount a file system, and if I want to mount a file system to this virtual machine or this computer, and I want to mount it manually as a root user, I'll just go and mount it manually, and those files or file systems that I'll have mounted will appear in the slash mount directory. So as for now, I have not mounted any files or any file system in this virtual machine. So that's it with the mount directory. And the other one is slash srv, and I think that's the last one. And this cd slash srv contains service files. And as you can see, the only service that is running is tftp, and yeah, that's the only service that is running. And if I have other services running, they will automatically show up in this directory. So yeah, that's it with some of the most important directories you need to know in the Linux file system. And this marks the end of this video. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can put down your comments of what you think about this video down below, and I'll see you in the next video.